Good morning, students. Let's start with the next chapter in EVS Part 2. The name of the chapter is From Shelters to Village Settlements. In this chapter, we are going to study 7.1 Shelter, 7.2 Seasonal Camps, and 7.3 Village Settlements. Let's start with the first part, that is shelter. In the first lesson, we saw that the Neanderthals lived in caves. So in this picture, you can see a warm two-room tent erected by Neanderthal man inside a cave in France. At that time, the climate in Europe was extremely cold. The Neanderthals could protect themselves from the freezing temperatures because they wore leather clothing and made use of fire. So you can see in this picture that a fire is lit up to keep them warm from the extreme cold climate. And also their clothing is mainly made up of leather, as you all can see in the picture, so that they can feel the warmth. They can keep their body warm because of the leather. But perhaps that was not enough. That is why they used animal hides, that is animal skin, to erect the tents inside the cave for warmth. Wherever necessary, they also built huts in the open. So, in this picture, you can see the Neanderthal man has built huts in the open. So, this is how shelter was undertaken, or it was built as suitable to the climate. Okay. Now, let's move on to part 2, that is seasonal camps. Now, in the Middle Stone Age, groups of Homo sapiens had established camps all over the world. At that time, the climate was getting warmer. So now there is a change in the climate. First we seen the climate was cold. Now it's getting warmer. So there is a change in the climate. Everywhere the environment was changing, and with it the diet of Homo sapiens was also undergoing change. That means their food habits were also changing. By that time of the Middle Stone Age, big animals like mammoth were on the way to extinction due to changing environment, and also because of they were hunted on a very large scale. So in this picture you can see a mammoth. It was on a way to extinction. Now extinction means it happens when a particular animal or plant species are no more. Okay, like individual of that species are not alive anywhere in the world. So this particular animal, mammoth, was on the way to extinction, means it's no more now there. Now, the mammoth was an ancestor of the elephant. However, he was much bigger in size compared to the elephant. As you all can see in the picture, he was much bigger. The mammoth was much bigger than the elephant. And as they were hunted on a large scale now, it faced the danger of becoming extinct. Okay, now you will not find this mammoth. Okay, so naturally there had to be some other occupation. Okay, that is why the Homo sapiens had largely turned to fishing. Okay, you can see in this picture they are collecting the fishes, segregating it means separating it, collecting it. Net is being laid in the sea. You can see there's a man, he's laying the net in the sea. So he also began to depend more on hunting or and smaller animals. So they depended on fishing and hunting other animals. Okay, we will see which animals they were hunting. They were hunting smaller animals like the wild boar, deer, mountain goat and sheep. So besides hunting, fishing was another occupation which was undertaken by the Homo sapiens, as well as they were hunting smaller animals as we seen in this slide, that is the wild boar, deer, mountain goat and the sheep. Then what? There was a change in pattern of the diet and the eating habits. The changed diet pattern enabled the groups of Homo sapiens to roam to far away regions. They moved their camps to different places according to the seasonal changes. According to the climate, they moved their camps. There, they harvested seasonal wild grains and gathered seasonal fruits and roots. They would find out the best seasons for fishing and use the knowledge to their advantage. By observation, they discovered the best hunting grounds. So now the Homo sapiens had not only started fishing, but they also started growing crops, as you all can see in this picture. Harvesting was their another occupation which they learnt gradually. So there was a change. So slowly they were learning different occupation, as we seen. They were learning fishing, then harvesting of grains. So slowly they were learning and there was a change. For these reasons, they stayed in one place for longer periods. Now, they had started growing crops. Okay. Now, as we seen in the before slide, they started growing crops. They did not have to move then. Okay. They did not have to move from one place to another. They could stay in one place. Okay. They cleared jungles. Okay. They started cutting trees. They cleared jungles by felling trees and set up their seasonal camps. Okay, they started staying over there in the clearings. So once the jungles were cleared, they could set up their camps, which were called as their seasonal camps. So now they started staying in one place because they started growing crops. So they started staying in one place only. Okay. Now we shall learn about the next part, which is village settlements. The way of life of humans in the new Stone Age was completely different of that of humans in the Old Stone Age and the Middle Stone Age. So now we are in the New Stone Age and it was completely different. You can see that the Homo sapiens is now learning different techniques and different occupation. As we seen in the previous slides, they are slowly learning different techniques and different occupations. First they knew only hunting, now they have tried fishing and harvesting grains also. Okay. During this period, humans became producers of food grains. So cultivation period had started. Okay. The beginning of cultivation is a characteristic of the culture of the New Stone Age. So what is the characteristic of the culture of the New Stone Age? That is the beginning of cultivation. Okay. Then in the hunting and gathering way of life, it is necessary to keep moving all the time. Previously, when a man was only dependent on hunting and gathering roots, he had to move. Once the food was over in one place, he had to move in other place. Okay, so once the food was over, they had to move their camps. They had to move from one place to another. Then agriculture makes it possible to store food, okay, and use it over a longer period. Hence, there is no need to keep moving constantly. Moreover, the nature of agricultural work made it necessary to stay in one place because the crop had to be harvested, then stored. So if it had to be stored in larger quantities, that time the Homo sapiens could not move from one place to another. So it was important for him to stay in one place. So in the previous slide we seen that they were moving from one place to another in search of foods, right? Now they used to stay in one place only because they were growing their own food grains. People established permanent village settlements and lived in them generation after generation. So today also you see village settlements in certain places. Okay, they were established during the period of Homo sapiens, which date back to the New Stone Age, when man learned cultivation. Okay, so now they stay in one place only, they do not move. Okay, your homework, your first question: Homo sapiens had largely turned to dash with hunting. Next, the beginning of cultivation is a characteristic of the culture of the dash age. Next, which animals did the Homo sapien hunts? Okay, so here your chapter ends. We will learn the next chapter in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.